Okay, so welcome to this week's SNES Divination. As usual, I've used a random number generator and I've randomly arranged these images. I wanted to arrange them following the order of the numbers, but I accidentally deleted the random numbers just after I'd searched for the images. So, anyway, in a sense, you could say that the cards have fallen where they have fallen, so, it's kind of like tarot in that sense. Um, okay. Well, I think that the first thing I want to mention about this is that there seem to be several groups of characters. We have 4 characters here, 3 here, 4 again here, 3 here, and, well, that's about it. But, see, there are... Okay, so 2 groups of 4 and 2 groups of 3. I find that interesting. And this highlights number 3 as well. 3 cars being emitted from, this guitar guy. It's like he's emitting these 3 cars from this explosive sound in the center. So, I mean, okay, that's not enough to say anything at the moment, so I'm going to move on to the next thing. The next thing I noticed was that we have 2 Magic Boys, kind of. There is Magic Boy and Spawn. And the reason I think they are similar is because Magic Boy is holding this torch in his hand, like fire in his hand, and is exploring the underworld. There seems to be, a drainage system, but in a Jungian sort of sense, there is also very complex architecture, very beautiful architecture. So it's this Jungian thing of, in the underworld where all the drainage and the dirt is, there is also a structure. There is also a structure to the unconscious that Magic Boy seems to be in the process of discovering. He seems to have just discovered this. He's just descended, and he's like, wow, and the fire seems to be allowing this. Now, Spawn also has fire in his hand. It's a different hand, but it's still, I feel, the same fire. And he seems to have emerged, or is visiting, a graveyard, which is also representative of the underworld, right? So in both these cases, I feel that these are magicians who have descended to the underworld, or are descending down into the underworld. Furthermore, this place is filled with animals, but of course, in a video gamey kind of way, these animals shouldn't be here, right? Elephants don't live in the underworld. Bears, birds, all these animals, they don't belong in an underworld drainage system. So it almost feels as if the fact that they are underworld is representative of them being buried or dead or spirits in some way. And they seem to be very interested in Magic Boy. And I'm not sure if they have just realized that he's arrived, or if they have known that he was coming for a long time. So, okay, we have those 2 themes, the numbers and the Magic Boy thing. Now, here, I'll just take a look at Secret of Mana for a second. The 3 characters seem to have arrived at the giant tree, like Yggdrasil, the center of the world, this central pillar of the world. And I get the feeling that they have just arrived. And again, I get the energy I get is that they are preparing to like merge with the tree, to merge with this central thing. And I'm sort of reading a lot of these 3s in a similar way, also because of this separation anxiety. Again, the energy I get from this text is not that these characters want to be separate, but actually the opposite. That they have anxiety from being separate, and they want to merge again. They have been separate for too long, and they want to merge, and they will merge. Right? So it's as if, like in the case of Secret of Mana, we have three characters that are separate, but they are merging into the center of the world. They are going to merge into the center of the world. So something like that is happening. I'd also maybe mention that we have two fighting games side by side. So there is something about, again, these three characters, they're radiating this fire almost, like Magic Boy. And I feel they are merging together. And, oh, the game is called Hyper Dimension, by the way. Hyper Dimension, yeah. This is interesting as well because here, Arkanoid Do It Again implies repetition. I'm not sure what to make of that, but I want to mention it. Arkanoid Do It Again, we have this spaceship that, again, with its fire, this sort of fire jet, allows it to speed into another dimension. Let's remember that the Dragon Ball game was called Hyper Dimension. So this is also, seems to be representative of a journey between dimensions, from one dimension to a slightly more ethereal dimension, which is what is happening in Magic Boy and Spawn and so on. There seems to be a journey from, we suppose, the overground, Ego Land, down into this strange underworld, and it is just being discovered. So there is a merge between the dimensions. Dimensions that were separate, the living and the dead in this case, the above and the below, are becoming merged. It seems almost as if the fire that is allowing this is the fire of the heart, which is a star here. I find this interesting. It sort of resonates like heart chakra stuff, almost, that the light of this star is allowing the underworld to be illuminated, and this illumination itself brings a meeting between spirits that were separate and unites, it ends this separation anxiety between the living and the dead. It unites these dimensions. Interesting also how this giant head is somehow overseeing this process. A very dry, it's not a very living head, it's like a moai, right? It's like stone or metal. It's something dead, like a skull, kind of. And possibly representative of ego. Aligned with the huge planet in the sky, in this case the moon. This seems to happen twice as well. But anyway, I don't think there is much interest in that necessarily. Okay, yes, so I also wanted to say something about rock and roll racing. Again, it seems as if music, or the guitar, I don't know if it's exclusively music, but the sound of this guy's guitar, which is red again, I don't know, it might be fiery in the sense, it is exploding this fire away almost like it's the star in his heart, right? It's coming from this central point in his chest, and it's causing these three vehicles to be emitted outwards. I get this feeling from this image. In this image, for example, I feel that the three are coming towards this central point. In this case, I get the feeling the three cars are being emitted from the central point. And funny also how we have two cases of futuristic vehicles with fire jets, like turbo kind of jets. In both cases, there is this sort of science fiction-y element of things coming from within to without and from without to within. Again, a merge of dimensions in some way. That represents some sort of a struggle, or it's a battle. There's something... I don't think it's a battle, but I think that the fact that these two games are fighting games is somehow important. Maybe there's a Mars energy to this, some uh, willful effort to unite, to merge, or the within with the without, something like that. I mean, WrestleMania's logo already is somehow like a W and an M, which are opposites of each other, stylistically. So, well, I mean, I suppose that's more or less everything I wanted to say. I find it interesting. And let's see my notes. Spaceship, fire in hand. Yeah. So I don't know. Okay, so what would I say to summarize this? And how does this relate to the spirit of the times, or the point in time we are now? Well, again, I get the feeling that these characters aren't merged together yet. The merging will happen in the future. They are in the process of merging. They are going to merge. It's kind of like this guy, he hasn't spent a long time in the underworld. I feel that he has just arrived. That whatever is going to unfold here is going to unfold now. All these unions are sort of, they are just happening. There's a lot of energy of, like, this guy's guitar. It's just emitting the thing right now. And so the apparition of the number 3 and 4, 2 3s and 2 4s, I'm not sure what to make of it. A tentative guess would maybe be, 3 as being fire, as being a number that is unstable in a Jungian sense. It's energetic, it's moving. And then 4 is a square, it's a stable foundation. It's more like this tree. So maybe it's the movement from 3 to 4. Interesting here. Not sure what to make of it exactly, but these 2 red birds, like phoenixes almost, like birds of fire, 2 of them crossing this tree. So a lot of fire, and this fire unites with 3 elements. And it's interesting because, of course, the number 3 is kind of a fire number, I think. So 3 fire, and then this fire sort of moving towards a union between the above and the below. So yes, that's a sufficiently abstract kind of prediction. Make of it what you will. Yes, thanks for watching. See you whenever I feel like doing this again. Goodbye.